9.075. And now our first look at the Chinese and Ling, 15 years of age. How did she get that black eye?
Actually, a fall from one of the apparatus just smacked herself a little bit on the balance beam. And that is a place that, believe it or not, in my opinion, she could be Olympic champion along with the uneven bars. What a tremendous talent.
Wow.
This routine from start to finish, jam-packed with not only incredibly difficult elements, but beautiful artistry, innovation. It just has everything you could ever want.
There's one thing about the Chinese athletes. Over time, they've all been the same. They just have this really cool pace. They've done these routines forever. Check out this tumbling
right here.
pass.
Oh, actually, she
That's so
left the skill out.
disappointing.
She's supposed to connect that element right there, all in one tumbling line. Very, very difficult.
And now when we talk about bonus points and trying to get close to that 10-0 value, this is an athlete that could get as much as 5/10 bonus in that one tumbling skill alone, in those 3 moves. Of course, it's a deduction now because she broke the pace of the skills, so she loses those valuable bonus points. It's unfortunate.
Everything done so well. You see her landing in actually an oversplit position.
Yeah, not just 180, but extended. Just the dismount. Very interesting. Shades of Porkina, the world champion. It's just experience. It's just time. Her coach was saying she needs time in international competition.
We'll get her score in a moment. Meanwhile, Kristen Maloney and Vanessa Atler of the United States still to come.
NBC's Sports World is brought to you by Kodak Advantage System, a better way to take pictures further. By Old Spice High Endurance Deodorant. For long-lasting odor protection, now you've got proof, not promises. And by Hershey, the great American chocolate company.
You're looking at Kristen Maloney from a small town outside of Allentown, Pennsylvania, from a gymnastics club called the Parkettes, to a prominent position in the American gymnastics picture right now. She was the highest finisher in the most recent major competition called the American Cup in Fort Worth, and here's the first of 2 vaults.
Tough vault. You know, you're only going to see a handful of these vaults in this competition.
Doesn't look happy.
Now you're listening to her coach, Donna Strauss, and there's Bill Strauss, her husband. They've been in this sport since the 60s. They've dedicated their lives to it, literally.
Very difficult vault here. Double twisting, laid out Yurchenko. 9-9 potential score on this. Just you see the knees a little bit bent and the legs slightly apart.
And we're going to say it again. If she can only stick the landing, she's going to see an increase in her score. She's planning the same second vault.
This is an important time in her gymnastics career. She's deciding right now, this month, and after this competition with the Strausses, whether to make the push to Sydney. A high finish here could help make that decision.
Better.
Wow. More explosive, a higher vault, but still that right knee was bent. The judges are going to notice that, and still the landing.
You know, that's one of the frustrating things. As a coach, your athlete makes a correction, does a more powerful vault, and because of it, takes a bigger step.
Ling's score on the balance beam, 9.45. Kristen Maloney's second vault, 9.625, for an average of 9.637. And now Xiao Hong of the Chinese team, only 15 years of age. Those plump little cheeks get pinched by her coach an awful lot. We asked her whether that bothers her, and she said, yeah, it bothers me.
She told me her biggest challenges in gymnastics is the balance beam because it's easy to fall down there.
That is very true.
In any language.
You know, most of these gymnasts started gymnastics because of their parents. They were unruly children at home, messing up the equipment and whatnot. And She said she would like to be a world or Olympic champion, but in order to make that come true, she has to cooperate with her coaches and really work hard in the gym. Similar element that we saw from her teammate, Ling without the third skill.
Very difficult elements. Anytime you lose sight of the beam, the head goes back.
It's a risk.
Very, very risky.
They're just so exact in their movements. They take flexibility to its ultimate. A very difficult skill there, side aerial. But of course, a couple of tense deduction. They have a wonderful pace. They just seem so relaxed on the balance beam. That's, of course, just years and numbers of routines.
Great landing, but certainly you saw a couple of small bobbles throughout that routine. Here's that leap sequence we talked about earlier. And watch, the head goes back. She loses sight of the beam.
That was actually an element that was named after a teammate years and years ago named Yang Bo. That's the Yang Bo.
And her score on the balance beam, 9.400. Great attitude by the Chinese team, and the Americans hope that Vanessa Atler has the right attitude here in Knoxville, Tennessee as well. She comes from Canyon Country, California. She'll be on the vault, as are the rest of the Americans, trying to straighten out the uneven bars. That'll come later. Now, we're just told by Jian Wang, our Chinese translator, that Xiao Hong, who just competed on the balance beam, said to her teammates, "I'm dizzy."
I hope Vanessa's not dizzy. Big vault, double twisting your...
Simply amazes me the amount of height, the power that she has on that vault. The same vault as Kristen Maloney.
Your head and chest is coming out for the twist, right? Feel the arms, the block straight up in the air. That was the power. Lock it up, right?
Yeah, he is talking about power, Coach Steve Rybecki. She had plenty of that, and then some. A lot going on here.
Look at the height.
Double twisting, laid out Yurchenko just way too much. Two gigantic steps back. I tell you, if she can stick that vault, that is about as good as it gets anywhere in the world.
9.5. Vanessa's truly an amazing woman. She has an internet website, which we've talked about frequently on our gymnastics coverage here on NBC Sports. After the American Cup, which was a disappointment, she basically shut everything down, said she wanted to concentrate and get her head together.
Come on.
Wow.
An improvement.
This young lady can fly. Remember, the maximum value is 9.9. She stuck it.
Good job.
Score will go up.
All right.
Steve coaches Vanessa with his wife, Beth. She's not here this time, so it's a solo effort. You're welcome, Vanessa. 9.750 for an average of 9.625. The United States getting off to a very good start in the competition on the vault.
Thanks. Thanks.
This is Maria Olaru of Romania, 15 years of age. And before we started, this was the woman both of you kept telling me about, the woman to watch.
Well, actually, Octavian Bellew has high hopes for Maria. He said she has the power to be the best in the world. He was, however, a little worried since last year. She was at the international team event last year. She's grown 12 centimeters.
About 4 inches and change.
That's a lot. Solid gymnastics that we're seeing again from the Romanian team. They have all the skills. Clean gymnastics, that's what it's about.
Big dismount, double front with a half twist. An E-valued skill gives her a couple tenths of bonus. A lot of uneven bars is pirouettes in the handstand position. Their judges are very critical as to when the pirouetting action is completed.
Strong score, Tim, 9.65. That means the Romanians don't have to keep the score of Claudia Presecan, which was a 9.075 from before. So the Americans have the lead. It's a slim lead, 0.049, and China's third, just a half a point behind. So one apparatus down, 3 more to go for the United States. A successful start. What else can we say?
Well, you know, I spoke with each one of the American coaches before the meet began. All of them said that vaulting was unquestionably this team's strongest event. In addition to that, though, they said that this team has turned the corner and there are bigger and better things ahead leading to the road to Sydney.
Elfie, what about a Romanian and Chinese perspective?
Well, for Romania, they are so close to the United States. Don't count them out. Remember, they are world team champions, and they are known for their consistency. They're heading to a very strong event. For China, well, they started on what was supposed to be their strongest event. They now head to the floor exercise. This is a question mark.
No question that the U.S. is headed in this rotation to the uneven bars, and that means 2 words for Vanessa Atler. Uh-oh.